And we're talking with Judd Larned in this WQA radio podcast. Judd is president of Culligan Water North America. And as you probably know, Culligan is a global leader in consumer water services and solutions. So, Judd, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Wes. Thanks for having me.
Should also point out you are vice president of WQA, and so we thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Enjoy it. Yep.
Well, let's start off, Judd, a little bit about how things are going at Culligan these days.
Things are going well. Really excited about everything that we've got going on at Culligan. Culligan's been around for 87 years. We've built out a global footprint where, we are the global leader in transforming water for households and offices and commercial spaces around the world. And it's exciting times. Currently today we have about 13 million units installed around the world. We're servicing 140 million consumers or more. We've got more than 900 dealers and partners that we work with to service the consumer and help transform water and really improve the consumer experience and their access to the water that they're looking for every day, which is fantastic.
That sounds great. And I like transform. I like the use of that word because it's just not making it taste better or, it's transforming. Listen, as far as the year has been going so far, 2023, how will you mark that as you look back, do you think?
2023, the last few years have been a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. Obviously, COVID has impacted us, all of us in a lot of ways, but it impacted our industry. I think for the better in a lot of ways over the course of 21 and 22. And as an industry, we saw a significant increase in demand for our systems. And, you can say some of that is due to folks being in their home more and having the ability to spend and invest against home and improvement. But in addition, I think we've continued to improve the education of the consumer. And there happens to be more news, unfortunately, around things and contaminants in the water and opportunities for, our industry to play a role in improving the consumer's water. So what is the impact of that on 23? Well, 23, it feels a little soft because you're not having the same type of growth that maybe we did in 21 and 22. But the business is still really strong and the consumer demand is strong. It's there. People are active. They're talking about the water. They're talking about how to improve their water, which gives us a really interesting, opportunity to help meet the consumer demands. PFAS has been a topic of conversation. It's an increasing topic of conversation. And I think that's something that we all need to be aware of, and we need to be thoughtful about how we engage in those conversations. But there is truly an opportunity for us to, improve the end consumer experience as it relates to their water. Supply chain issues have predominantly cleared up, and that in 2021 and 2022 is a headache for a lot of us as we were trying to figure out how do we get products to consumers when they need them. But I think we're in a situation now where that's almost business as normal, which is fantastic. And now we can focus on more of the growth opportunities, more of what we can be doing differently and better for the end consumer rather than just trying to keep the train on the track, which is good. Another interesting trend that we've seen a bit of is conversation with consumers around connected products. And in the home, you're seeing a lot more connected products and appliances. And, I think there's an opportunity for us as an industry to continue to figure out where and how should we play? How does water play in a connected world where folks are more conscious of their home and everyday interactions, with their home and appliances. So that's just another interesting trend that we've seen continue to increase. It hasn't been the same level maybe as what you would see in PFAS. But it's an interesting dynamic and just an opportunity to bring consumers closer to what we do and what we offer.
Anything surprised you so far, or is it pretty much kind of as expected?
It's a bit as expected. I think the consumer demand being as tepid as it is maybe is a little bit surprising to me. I thought that we would have seen the COVID bump and then maybe stabilize and move from there. But obviously with the economic headwinds that we are facing and folks are facing around the world right now, it does create a little bit of a multiplying effect. because you've got inflation causing compression on consumers' disposable income. You've got higher interest rates. So when you get into things like financing, things are a little bit more expensive than maybe they were. And so consumers are having to make more difficult decisions, which, I still think the long-term trends are really exciting, and consumers have the right level of want here for engagement in the water treatment category. We just need to have the patience for them to be able to afford it as well.
But asking people the last few months about recession, and we've been talking about this. It seems like for a long time, this might be the most anticipated recession if we get one. Even, hard landing, soft landing, whatever. What's your take on this? Where we are with the economy?
Well, if you know the answer, Wes, let me know where to invest my money. I think Europe has, in certain places, has actually hit a true recession at this point. I think the U.S. has staved it, and who knows what's going to happen. I think regardless of whether there's an official recession or not, the consumer dynamics don't change, right? And consumers are facing that inflation compression, and it is creating an impact on how they think about spending. I don't think we're in a position where the world's going to go into a deep recession or have a significant downturn, and we all hope that's the case for everybody. But we'll weather the storm. And the nice thing about our industry, the nice thing about water treatment as a whole, is it's a necessity. And so, even in light of a recession, I think there's still opportunity for us to meet the needs of the consumers where they need it, and be prepared for when the economy comes back, so that we can take advantage of the growth that will come with that.
And there is an element of savings and economy within the water treatment discussion, right? Because if you are softening your water and seeing economies of smaller amounts of detergent being used and things like that, that's something that the consumer can really save on and benefit.
No, that's absolutely right. And I guess I'd retract my comment of whether they can afford it, because we'd all say that there's a great return on investment in the water treatment category. But I think what's interesting is when you have folks that have experienced what we have to offer, they understand that. I think where it gets a little bit more complex is when we're bringing people into our industry, when they're struggling with meeting the monthly paycheck or meeting their monthly expenses. It might be harder for them to get their heads around that initial investment engagement in the category. And that's the place where, I think there's going to continue to be opportunity as the economy comes back and we see the strength behind earnings.
Yeah, messaging is so important. Communicating the benefits of water treatment. So let's talk about things from the WQA perspective for a little bit, if we could. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we thank you for your service on the board, and you're in the VP role now, and that means you take the gavel in a few months for as the next president. But we're gearing up for the mid-year leadership conference, and I know that's an important date on your calendar. Tell me a little bit about your impressions of mid-year, the way you value the mid-year leadership conference coming up in September in Lake Tahoe.
I look forward to it every year, and I've actually been pretty disappointed the last couple of years because we've had some snafus in trying to get things kicked off. But I think it's a fantastic event, and there are a number of reasons behind it. One, we're in a unique industry, and I've had the experience of exposure to a number of industries around North America and the world over the course of the last couple of decades. There's no industry like the water treatment industry where we work collaboratively together. And, while we compete, of course, we're out there trying to figure out, how do we take market share? How do we think about being the best that's out there? But as an industry, there's more passion around doing what's right and more passion about making sure that our industry is treated well and that water treatment is at the appropriate place in the consumer's mind and in affiliate government minds around the opportunities and what we can offer. And because of that, because we work so well together, these opportunities to get together and engage are so important. because we can bring the best thinking that would come from manufacturers, from dealers, from third parties and folks that might be in the retail channel to talk about how do we improve the presence of the water treatment industry in the consumer's mind. And how do we think about engaging in Washington, D.C. so that we're getting the right share of mind, the right appreciation from folks that are actually writing the rules. And that opportunity to work together, and really mid-year is a lot of where it happens, right? While we can have a committee teams meeting or we can have a committee phone call, getting in the room with somebody and actually debating, having dialogue, whiteboarding, brainstorming, and coming up with what might be next, where's their opportunity, you just can't replicate being in person. And those things I really look forward to. Obviously, I look forward to just being around other folks in the industry. This is an industry of passionate people, but also nice people that are fun people, and the folks that I view as my friends that I look forward to getting together with as well.
Right, and there's golf, and there are outdoor activities, and the opportunity to contribute to research. So it's a little bit of everything. And so somebody who hasn't been in the past, has never tried it, what would you say? What would be that sort of compelling argument?
Yeah, I mean, it's really three things. There's a networking aspect of it, but I actually put that as number three. I think the opportunity to learn and learn what are others experiencing, what are other people doing that might be a best practice or something that I could pick from. Every time I go to one of these the conventions, and mid-year being the one where you're engaging the most, I come away with some idea that I want to do Monday morning when I get back in the office, that I can improve how we're doing things at Culligan. And then the third is the opportunity to contribute. Everybody's got good ideas and everybody's got different experiences. And, as an industry, we need experiences from, folks that are larger, folks that have broader experiences. Maybe they've got a footprint that crosses states, but we also need to hear from folks that maybe have a single dealership or a single location, because their experience is different and what they need might be different, but also what they have to offer is there for the group to understand and appreciate. And so I think those are the three things: to learn, to contribute, and then the networking piece that you're going to get engaging with other folks in the industry.
And as you look ahead to 2024, wow, it's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
And as you take the gavel in March, what are your thoughts there about the year ahead?
Well, it's exciting and daunting. In the industry is at an opportunity crossroads. And as we think about PFAS, we think about contaminants that continue to emerge. And as we think about the opportunity that our industry has, and point of entry, point of use, and the solutions that we have are actually getting more appreciation over recent times than they have in the past. And that opportunity is something that we've got to figure out, how do we take advantage of it, and take advantage in a way of trying to help get to the end consumer and improve the end consumer's experience. We can't solve these problems at the municipality level at all times. It would be too expensive. It would take too long. And because we've got a unique opportunity to fill the gap in the meantime, I think that it's unique for us. I think if you put that together with WQA's position right now, which is we're entering and in the third year of a strategic plan. And when you're in that third year of a strategic plan, it's a time to start to step back and say what worked, where maybe was there opportunity left on the table, or what didn't work, because every once in a while you come up with something that you tried and you say, hey, it was an interesting effort, but we should maybe move in a different direction, and start to think about, well, what does the next phase look like? And so, for me to have the opportunity to work with Pauly, to work with the leadership team, to work with US on so where are we and what's next, and how do we sort of take advantage and be in a position where we can give the membership what they need to be successful in this time where the industry has probably more turmoil and opportunity and change than it has in the past is an exciting time. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And to you, the listener, if you want to know why I enjoy doing these podcasts, it's talking to people like Judd. and hearing the excitement in his voice. I hope you can detect that and pick up on really the excitement, the interesting aspects of looking ahead to the future of the industry, and then bringing it all together with others who are like-minded and who all share the same goals. So, Judd, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Wes. I appreciate the time, and I'll see you in a few weeks.